up, everybody? Welcome to Story Motors Podcast. My name is Robert.
I am Mike.
And who are you up there in the top of the part of the screen?
I'm down. Oh, I'm down here.
Yeah, he's on my thing on the podcast. You're at the top because that's where we put our guests.
Wow.
My name is Devin, also known as VerumDex. I am a variety streamer on Twitch. I also do content creation on the side for YouTube and now sometimes TikToks and Instagram Reels. That's what I'm looking into. But yeah,
Yep.
if you like video game stuff, that's what I do.
It is at twitch.tv/VerumDex, VerumDex. We'll have it in the description and then in the tweets and everything about it. But welcome in, Devin. How are you tonight, my friend?
I'm doing very well. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I just ordered pizza and I'm waiting for it to show up. And I've had a pretty good day at work so far.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Mike?
It was a day. I don't really want to get too much into it, but I will say this. If you call your doctor's office and you want them to lie to someone for you, no, we're not going to do that.
You sure?
Pretty sure.
I mean, what if it's like a fun lie?
No.
You got attacked by a bear and you're in the hospital now.
Yeah.
No, you need a friend who's a doctor if they're going to lie for you.
Or like Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no. If you're waiting in line to come see us, no. But that's neither here nor there. What do I know?
Yeah. What the fuck do you know? You don't work in the medical field, do you?
No.
Do ya?
I guess I don't, and I don't have a friend who's a doctor who's lied for me in the past.
Oh, actually, hold on.
Oh,
pizza just got here, so
Pizza time.
I got fucking pizza.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we'll just wanted to grab this before we really started talking here. All right, I'm just gonna pop a note in here.
I think it'd be great if you we just come back from a break and you're just mowing down pizza, and we just do not acknowledge it.
What do you mean he's eating pizza? Yeah, he's been eating pizza
The whole time.
Or we just lean in to just be like, hey, so hope you all grabbed your pizzas.
It was a requirement for this episode.
Just some weird call to action that we just never bothered mentioning at all.
Yeah, you Fallout pizza, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay. Yeah, so now we're back. I got pizza, I got food, I got drinks. Dex is drinking wine. I don't know. Mike is drinking other stuff. Duff beer. There we go. Perfect. I've had Duff beer a couple times at Universal Studios. It's beer. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not actually a Duff. It's got all my little flash drives in there. So,
Okay.
It's like a regular beer. It is a receptacle for knowledge.
Yeah, Duff and I think it's Duff and Duff Light that they have at Universal, and both of them are just just generic ass lagers. They're special, but they're just generic ass lagers. Anyway,
Let me know when they get FUD, stuff that made all those rednecks go blind, or Doof, the beer of Danish kings.
So, Mike, last week we talked about the plan was last week to do a kind of overview of the entire season 1 of Fallout. And then we got to about an hour and a half into the show, and we had finished up episode 1. So,
which had a runtime of 74 minutes.
Yeah, we decided we're just going to make this a series for the next few weeks. So today, we're actually going to be talking about a couple episodes. Episodes 2, The Target, and episode 3, The Head.
Mm-hmm.
Great fucking names.
So good.
Yeah, we're going to do a bit of a quicker recap this week than we did last week because we got 2 episodes, and we don't really have, meeting all these new characters. There are new characters that come in, but it's not just, hey, here's this entire world that we're doing all at once. So we can kind of go through a little bit of the recap first. But before we start with episode 2, before we get into the recap of it, guys, what did you think of episode 2, The Target?
I liked it. I think it did a really good job of continuing to build out this world, because the first episode we were introduced to the characters and some of their motivations, but episode 2 really kind of laid the foundation for the world that we are going to be in. I thought that did a great job. Yeah. Yeah, you eat that crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good boy.
And Devin, what about you? I mean, actually, before we really get into it, now I did that for the bit, and now it's in my mouth. Devin,
I ate food, now I have to eat it.
What's your history with Fallout? Have you played all the games? Have you played any of the games? Were you a big fan before the series?
So my history with Fallout is I didn't know what Fallout was until Fallout 3 came out. Like I had no idea that was like there was Fallout 1 and 2 beforehand. Had no idea. I just thought
context clues probably could have let you figure that out.
Yeah.
When Fallout 3 came out, but
yeah. But like I had no concept of the series before that, and so it looked cool from like the E3 trailers and stuff like that. And so I got it, and I instantly like never, aside from like Oblivion, I never played a game like that. And so I was like super intrigued by it. And once I got engulfed in Fallout 3, I was like hooked. I played through all the DLCs.
Yeah.
I put hundreds of hours into it. I loved Fallout 3 a lot. I've beaten New Vegas. Played a lot of 4. I still haven't beaten 4. And played some Fallout 76 with you.
Yeah, you did.
So
with
so
both
that's
of us. We did some Fallout 76 over on. We all like it was like 4 of us streaming it at the same time, all in the same party. So
it was wild.
Yeah, so that's kind of been my introduction to the series and my kind of history with it all, and so that's about it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I mean, so it sounds like you have kind of a history with the game as opposed to just coming into this blind, really.
Yeah.
Which is dope because I think you and I and Mike and fans of the game series can all say, like, as you're watching the show, you get these little Easter eggs or these little these nods to the game that don't necessarily make it so you wouldn't understand it if you didn't play the games, but it just makes it better if you have played the games. So
exactly, because you go from seeing it in the games and you kind of just like watching the show, you're like, whoa, this is like if the games were a TV show, kind of a thing.
Yeah, and I mean, they fucking killed it with the world building in the show and just making everything look like a fucking Fallout game.
Oh, yeah.
So, but so episode 2, Mike, you liked it. Devin, you liked it. I mean, I like fucking all the episodes. I'm not going to come in here and be like, yeah, episode 6, dog shit. But I think this episode, The Target, did a really good job at setting up the kind of the main, besides Lucy's story, actually just the main thing for everybody. So in episode 1, we got Lucy's story and what she's doing. She wants to save her dad. And you have Maximus. What's he doing? He's now in the Brotherhood and he's a scribe and he's going on a mission. So he's doing that. And then what is the ghoul doing? Whatever the fuck the ghoul wants to do. He's the one who's like, we're going after this target, And the Brotherhood obviously is also like, we're going after this target, but you don't really get that. But yeah, this episode I think does an incredible job of laying out the stakes of what the target is. And where it comes from, especially like one of the first things you hear is that he's in the Enclave, which is incredible. I'm so glad that that's still in the world. After the events of Fallout 3, could have gone either way.
True.
But Mike, do you wanna take over here and we'll do a quick recap of the episode while my camera goes dark and I fucking munch down some pizza?
Will your mic still be hot?
We'll find out.
God willing, there's just going to be Hawks masticating while I give a rundown everything that happened in episode 2, The Target.
I actually just realized that if I turn the camera off, then everything in the overlay fucks up, so I'm just going to eat, but it's going to be muted.
Okay.
All right. Listen, as long as we get either audio or visual, I'm happy.
We'll just judge how you eat your food.
That's gonna be great. Oh, Jesus.
It's a huge experience for him.
That was a bad idea.
That was a terrible idea. What were you thinking? Anyway, so the just God damn it. Anyway, the episode opens up with some adorable puppies that are getting shoved into an incinerator because the Enclave really does not give a shit about cute puppies. They have business to attend to. And we see a doctor, a scientist, set one aside, fudge some numbers. Not a very Enclave thing to do in this instance, doing the right thing. Yeah, and this we kind of quickly figure out after seeing in the previous episode the target drawing that the Brotherhood did, which again,
Mhm.
that was so cool.
It was.
Yeah. Yep. You quickly realize that, oh, this is the target, and this little puppy that he is raising and training is also the target with the target. Yeah, we establish, he's with the Enclave. We go through, we see some cool things. There is very clearly a super mutant on a gurney. That was a fun
Mhm.
little thing.
Did I fucking miss the super mutant on a gurney?
It wasn't like super obvious. It was just like
Yeah.
he's walking from one office to another,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just pushing, like a couple guys are just pushing this gurney, and he just does like a quick look over, and the camera just quick cuts,
Yeah.
and you see a super mutant arm sticking out from underneath a sheet.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
when he's going through the security to go to
Yeah.
his office.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Hmm.
yeah. So that's
Fucking
cool.
missed that.
Mhm.
Right? Yeah, he's raising this puppy in secret, and then he's also working on something else. We don't quite know what it is, but it's got a little tiny thing. Like he pulls out this little grain of rice sized thing. He puts on that weird like leather helmet, and then what we all saw in the trailer, he just shoots this thing into the side of his neck
Mhm.
after drinking a lot of whiskey. Which
I mean, whiskey is just nature's anesthetic.
this is true.
You know.
This is very true.
What do you think this is?
Aha, there it is.
Pepper with coconut.
Look at him go, folks.
Yum.
Ringing endorsement. He is. Yeah, so we don't know what this is or why he shot it into his neck, but it's glowing. That's an important thing to know about the MacGuffin here, which heretofore I will refer to this as the MacGuffin.
Fair.
Because until we know what the hell this thing is,
Yeah.
it's just the thing
a
we're
MacGuffin.
going for. Yep.
And Devin is 18 years old, doesn't understand what a MacGuffin is. Mike, do you want to explain it?
No, I don't. Moving on.
Sounds good.
I am almost 30, sir.
Hey, me too. I'm almost 30.
Wow, I'm almost 30 as well.
Yep.
Let's just keep rolling and
Yeah, the wrong
lies
side
I
of it,
tell
but
myself.
I was almost, I'm still almost there, I guess.
Oh, write these down in the lies I tell to myself book. So, again, mentioned he's raising that dog in secret. Another scientist comes in, sees the dog, goes, hits the alarm. We learn how loyal this dog is. Brutally murders this other.
Mhm.
So doctor's like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah. I might not be welcome here anymore.
Makes his
And
escape.
maybe.
proceeds to run across the worst fucking turret.
The absolute worst turret. I mean, we're talking about like Pulp Fiction, everybody unloading and just missing. Like that kind of bad.
Like
So-
comically, if he would just stand still and let the turret shoot him, there would just be an outline of a human on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
There it is. Yep.
They gave it the AI of a stormtrooper. That's what they did.
yeah.
Man.
Whoever made those turrets is like, man, you know what movie I love? That really old movie, Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
Spider-Man. It was Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Anyway, cut to Lucy just out there exploring, seeing what life is like outside of the vault, seeing that, man, this shit sucks. She stumbles across a apartment building and sees a family of skeletons sitting around a table, and she's rifling through some of the boxes, and oh, looks like they all poisoned themselves to escape the nightmare that is the wasteland.
And is this the first time that we see Vault Tech Plan D?
Uh,
Those Plan
no.
D bottles?
Maybe?
I believe so.
Yeah.
That was just Voltec's most humane invention.
Yeah. Vault Tech
Mhm.
Plan
Like-
D, and it's just fucking poison for you and your family.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's kind of realizing how terrible this is. She sets up camp, starts a fire, houses some deviled eggs. And then out of nowhere, like she hears things. And then she hears something eating one of the things. And then emerging from the darkness into the light of the fire that she has built is the good doctor, is the target. And he just lays some knowledge on her. Basically calls her an idiot, tells her to go back to the vault where it's safe because she is not ready for this. And then, where is it? I wrote this down. He says, I loved this line. If you insist on staying, then you will have to adapt. The question is, will you want the same things after you become a different animal?
Yeah. Yeah.
Disappears.
And I love
And-
that whole part because it's as she's going through, she's seeing these horrible stuff, but you can tell she's kind of like putting it at the back of her mind, and she's still trying to be like, "This is gonna be great. This is gonna be okay." And this is the first time you see her get really like scared of what situation she's in.
Oh,
It's like the first like it gets thrown in her face, and she can't ignore it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's up there with the idea that she's got that savior complex of I'm up here
Yeah.
now. We're gonna make the best of all of this, y'all. We're gonna do it.
don't
and I'm gonna be
don't
able to
worry,
talk to people.
guys.
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. It's gonna get better. Oh, it gets so much worse. Mm-hmm. Sad
Just throw on
kitty.
some old classical tunes, and it'll be okay.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, cut back to the vertibird with Titus and Maximus. Maximus is excited, like understandably. There's a knight, he's asking questions, and the knight just whips off his codpiece and tells him to close. And then, yep, that's fun. I didn't notice this the first watch through, but Knight Titus says, "Set this thing down. I'm bored. I want to shoot something." That's why they land, because he's bored and wants to shoot something.
Yeah. If the spirit of America is anywhere in Fallout, it's in that one line.
Yeah, I'm just like, nope, that's just like you could kind of tell at this point Maximus is like, oh, well, okay, I guess he is a knight. He has free reign, but this is where the cracks start to develop for Maximus. So they land. They are just traipsing through the woods. Bye, Robert. And
Pizza time.
they uh yeah, it yeah, they're traipsing through the woods, being bored, cut to the target and the dog. They're walking along a path. He stops to eat some cram, whatever it is. Definitely not spam.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no correlation.
Nope, none whatsoever. Not the spiced pork shoulder ground up and shoved into a can that we airdropped over every place that we previously airdropped bombs onto. Yeah, he is eating. He drops his white coat. He's, tried to lighten the load. The dog, not dog meat, CX404, comes out of this cave with a severed hand. And the doctor's like, nope, out of here. Take off. Back to Maximus and Titus. Titus just wants to shoot something. Maximus is actually paying attention. He finds the coat. He finds the fresh opened can of cram. And he's like, they were here. They were close. Titus is like, oh shit, because he sees all these bones. They go into the cave. And Titus sends Maximus deeper into the cave because it is an act of bravery because he's not wearing armor. Sure. But then you hear, the unmistakable growling of something. Your Titus just, oh shit, turn around. Yawai versus Knight of the Brotherhood of Steel. Who do you have? Oh, Titus turned and ran like a bitch. Okay, cool.
Isn't he
Cool.
like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, as he's
Yeah,
running
he's
away?
running. Yeah, like he is fucking terrified.
Like, it's so funny too, because he was actually holding up pretty well against the bear. Like, it wasn't all of a sudden like overwhelming him, but he's just like, never mind, fuck this.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, he just like fucking ran, and it's like, buddy, you're in armor. Like, you can take this thing. I don't mean to tell you your business. As some utterly, barely literate moron who made the wasteland very more terrible in power armor, let me tell you, there's not a lot you can't punch to death.
exactly.
Yep. Anyway, Bear takes him down. Titus demands Maximus save him. Maximus puts 2 in the dome of the bear, sits Titus up, and we reveal true villain Michael Rappaport. Fuck that guy.
He would have gotten away with it too, if it wasn't for those meddling kids.
We gotten away with it too. He wasn't a fucking pussy, but here we are.
He also would have gotten away with his life if he wasn't a fucking asshole.
Yeah, there we are.
Yeah.
Here
Also
we
true.
are.
No lies.
Yep. So Titus proceeds to just talk a whole bunch of shit as he's dying, demanding Maximus save him. But I am with Maximus on this thing. It's just like, no. Like, he sees in the alignment chart, he's kind of like going from like lawful good to like he's getting over to like chaotic good. Like, he's gonna do the right thing, but fuck the law. Like, I'm going to get you the result you want. You may not like it, but don't worry.
Definitely. But like, this is also like, I'm also with Maximus on this particular part, but this is where I start to kind of get I don't know, I'm kind of like not sure about him as a character. Just because of the way he's so readily
Oh yeah. Like, this
does
is
it.
Yeah.
Because he goes from I am very devoted to the Brotherhood to now I'm gonna take this opportunity to further myself kind of a thing.
Mhm.
So I'm like, this is where I start to get suspicious of him.
Yeah, although I do love that he says it is a knight's duty to better this fallen wasteland. You
Oh,
don't
no,
deserve
100%.
that
Yeah.
armor.
Yeah, no,
And
that
just
was cool.
Lets him die. And here we are. New character, baby. So yeah. There we go. We now have Maximus and Titus and power armor. What's gonna happen? Who knows? Yeah. Lucy runs into cut back to Lucy. I love how they just jump back and forth between these two. Like, that's they're both idiots out of their depth. And it's just kind of fun to see what happens. Like, which idiot takes over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lucy runs into a guy trying to homestead out there on the wasteland, wearing a diaper, putting sand into a water purifier. Ooh. My man just out there like every incel at a bar, asking her to marry him, drinking her drink. Oh, it's beautiful.
I just a part of their interaction that made me laugh so hard was when she was like, "Have you tried water?" It's like, and you can see like this wheel start to turn in his head. It's like, maybe that would work.
Maybe. No, you're onto something, lady. But she gets directions to Philly, not that one, and off she goes because she, again, trying to find her dad. Let's see, where is it? Oh yeah. This is my note about when Lucy gets to Philly. Lucy finds Philly a wasteland town. It is like any suburban Utah when they go to a city. Confused when the people aren't as polite and silently judgmental. That is
Sorry,
for being
I was housing some pizza a moment ago, but I do just want to point out,
yes,
just the when Maximus is being yelled at by Titus, and he's like, "No, I'm just gonna let this fucker die." You get the sense, like Devin said, that kind of where's his what's his deal? Because now this is the second person in his life in like fucking 2 days that has just gone through some sort of trauma, and this one died. The last one was Dane, whose foot got all fucked up, and you're like, was that Maximus that did that?
Yeah, this is...
And then he goes off with Titus, and then 20 minutes into the trip with Titus is dead now. Like, so it starts to paint Maximus in this light of, is he doing this for the right reasons, or what are his actual goals here?
Yeah. Is he secretly a villain? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Is this Joker origin story?
Is he gonna start doing shitty stand-up?
God. Yep. That's where this goes. Spoiler for episode 6.
Ah, shit. No future spoilers.
Maximus at an open mic night. Anyway, Lucy is making her way through Philly, not fully grasping that, there is society. Like, she is seeing society that exists without Vault Tech or the vaults or the people within them.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, she can reconcile, oh, these are people. I know people. I lived in a vault full of people.
Yeah.
Therefore, and no, that shit ain't happening.
Yeah.
So, yep. So she finally makes it to the heart of Philly, downtown Philly,
Which is just most of, if not all of Philly.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So,
we've been to the city of brotherly love. People whipping batteries and everything.
Fuck you.
I think another thing that you can kind of see with Lucy going through Philly is how Vault-Tec gave them this really naive look of how they would come to save America or the world or whatever, and not really giving them the education of how would these people actually be outside of the vault? Like, what would their psychosis be or anything like that? They're so ill prepared to do anything to handle what is out there that it's just so crazy to look at. This is what you were told and taught to believe, that now you come out here and you're not prepared for any of it.
Yeah. And it's I mean, once again, no future spoilers, but Mike, try to remind me in a few episodes when we get somewhere. Just be like, hey, is this it? And I'll remember it. But it's very clear that Vault-Tec was teaching just what Vault-Tec wanted these people to learn. Not, there's not an actual history of the world. There's not hey, this is what might happen. We might have this and this. No, it's everybody in the world is going to love you because you're with Vault-Tec and you're here to save the world. So no matter what happens, you're Vault-Tec. Everybody loves you.
They will look upon us as saviors and liberators.
Yeah, because that's what you are. You are the savior of America. And it's never, you're saving the world. No, you're the savior of America. So you're going to go up there and you're going to fix everything and you're going to repopulate the world because there's not going to be anybody there. There's not going to be any civilization. There were bombs. All the civilization is down here. So whatever you do, you're going to go up there. You're going to be the savior of everything. As opposed to, maybe there's going to be people up there and they don't want to deal with you. No, there's not going to be people up there because you're the savior. So she doesn't understand how to interact with non-vault people because up until, a few days ago, she didn't realize that there were people outside of the vault that were actually alive still.
Yeah. To the extent that it wasn't just groups of marauding, people doing awful things. It's yeah. She has learned that not only are there people up here, but there is indeed, honest to God, society. She's just awash in society again.
They have signs.
Oh, they got vibe checks.
They got stairs.
They got street food.
They got street food.
They got tomatoes. Oh.
So what are we doing in Philly? We've got Lucy in Philly. She goes to Ma June and is asking her about
holy shit. Holy shit, you're a vault dweller.
Yeah. I thought all you dipshits were dead.
You sardine living dipshits were dead. Yeah, it's fucking great. Oh, but this is where Lucy gets vibe checked on that whole, like, yeah, we're here to like rebuild America. We're here to save things.
Yeah.
Ma June's like, really? When were you gonna do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, she just starts calling her out on all the propaganda that she's been growing up with.
Yeah.
Nope.
And she doesn't know how to react to that.
It's propaganda. It's Vault-Tec propaganda that Lucy's been growing up with her entire life. This being shoved into her head and never having a reason to argue against it.
Mhm.
Oh. Yep.
So
So yeah, that happens. She leaves dejected, but who walks up as she is walking out of the store? Oh, her friend from the campfire and his friendly dog.
Dr. Doolittle.
Exactly.
and while
Caesar
they walk
Milan.
up, is this when we cut to actually I think we did skip something here. When Maximus gets the armor and he's running around
Oh, yeah.
like he kicks a fucking rock and it just takes down an entire fucking building.
He throws something into the ocean like 2 miles
Which is so
away.
funny because you see how strong the armor is, and it's just so much funnier seeing Titus run away when he could have totally manhandled that damn bear.
Yeah. You could have ripped that thing in half.
And then
But no.
And as he's running, he comes across one dude trying to kill another dude, and he runs up and he's like, "Hey, stop doing that. Let him go." Like, because he's the law now. And he's like, "You're gonna have to let this guy go." Go ahead,
One
Devin.
funny thing about that, because when he kicks the rock and he like takes down the structure, and you hear the guy screaming, I thought the guy was screaming because he's like, I don't know what's happening. Why is everything falling apart? So I had no idea that they were going to be an army. I thought he was just scared to death because of Maximus just destroying everything around him.
Just some
What's
dude in
happening
power.
again?
Just some dude in power armor just wrecking shit for no real reason.
But yeah, when he stops one dude from killing the other guy and lets the other guy leave, and he's like, "All right, you're safe," and dude runs away. You thinking, okay, that's a weird interaction.
Oh, don't you worry, it gets weirder.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Yeah, you don't kill him," and he's like, "Okay." But he was fucking my chickens. And then even with the helmet on, you could tell Maximus is like, "Oh, did I do the right thing?"
Womp 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 womp.
And then, then you see him also get to Philly, but he's in the outskirts and he has to tie up his power armor because he can't be walking in there in the power armor.
God no.
Yeah,
That's a little bit later.
is it?
Yeah,
Trying to
because
remember.
first
No,
we
you're
get introduced.
right.
We get introduced to the ghoul first being there.
Oh yes, just chilling.
Just being fucking sexy.
Yup. We have a discussion about modern economic factors in the wasteland, i.e., the bidding war over the target, because everybody's got a bounty on him. And, well, as the ghoul is wont to do, as we will see as this series progresses, man, there's a time for talking and then there's a time for not talking. And you don't know when that time is going to change.
There's a time for talking and there's a time for fucking that's killing everybody in slow motion.
97 chance to hit. All right.
That ghoul has a lot of skill points into bats.
Oh, man.
Oh, 100%.
Max.
Yeah.
Oh, just max agility, baby. Just. He is drawn faster and aiming better than everybody. Yep. Blows the target's leg off, and Ma June says 1,000 caps to anybody who kills that ghoul son of a bitch. And so, here we go. Couple things are happening. We've got Lucy, Ma June, trying to save this poor legless dude. You have the ghoul, after he stabs the dog,
Yeah.
need to establish, he stabs the dog.
Not gonna lie, I was so against the ghoul at this point. I was like, how fucking dare you?
Same.
100%.
My girlfriend stood up from the couch and was like, that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And
so,
yeah, this is that scene that kind of, I think this is the first actual scene that was released from the show a couple of months ago of of Lucy failing a speech check.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
You know, because
So-
she's level 1 and she hasn't put dick into charisma.
Yep.
You know?
Nope, she has not. Yeah, so you've got the ghoul fighting everybody in town in just the best way possible. Meanwhile, Lucy, Ma June, and Ma June's partner, roommate, whatever her name is.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I just watched the episode. I can't remember what the name is.
No, I don't remember
Yeah.
the name, but yeah, they were just like in the back, and Ma June kept yelling at them to come out, and they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah. So they are trying to slap a new leg on the doctor so he can get to Moldaver.
In just the most
Oh.
pristine fashion,
Mm-hmm.
putting a new foot onto this man's body, of just
Y'all ever
grabbing
see-
something from a box that has like a drill inside and just putting it onto the leg as he's almost bleeding out, and being like,
Y'all
"You're
ever, y'all ever seen the inside of a garbage disposal while it's going?
Yep.
Have now.
good." Yep.
It's like, I feel like, I don't know if like in the early file games, but we don't see anything like that. But it's an addition that fits so well because it would be so grotesque, but so comically like a thing to fix whatever is going on. Like it's such
Yeah.
it's such a Fallout thing.
Yeah.
Like you need a new leg. Here's a new leg.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Where did it come
Yep.
from? Don't ask.
Where did it
Is
go?
it safe? Sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So Fool's out there just blasting away everybody. And he shoots one dude in the neck. It's like, kind of hungry. And just grabs a handful of cherry tomatoes. Just starts eating them, spitting out the seeds. And then a couple like shooters from high vantage points just open up on him. And he takes cover. And he's sitting next to the dude he shot through the neck. It's like, I'd offer you a tomato, but you got a hole in your neck.
Good.
Who just bleeds out and falls over.
Yep. It's just like, yes, this is amazing. I just love after all of that, he just like throws some caps on the ground. It's like for the tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Ma June gets the foot onto the doctor, Dr. Wilzig. I don't think we've established that yet. And
Oh, yeah.
tells Lucy, hey, this guy needs to get to Moldaver. And you can, she knows that Lucy needs to get to Moldaver because Moldaver did something.
Yep.
You know, stole her dad or something. And she's like, if you get this guy to Moldaver, because she's looking for him, you can use him as leverage to trade for your father. But you're going to have to
bargaining
leave
chip.
now through the back door because Ghoul is out front fucking shit up. So she sneaks out, and then at the same time we get homeboy Maximus in his armor, who has come
Flying
down
in.
into Philly, not knowing how to do the fucking, you know,
The Iron Man thing.
jetpack.
Yeah.
Trying
by
to
the way-
establish.
Which, by the way, power armor flies now. That's
I mean, it's
A
gonna
new
They
be
fly now? They fly now.
jetpack, you know,
Yeah.
you can have a jetpack in 76. I'm pretty sure in 4, maybe even 3. I'm not sure, but I know in 76
Not in
you can
3.
have a jetpack.
Yeah.
It's not
Which is-
fucking Iron Man, but
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, no.
But it's so funny the interaction that Lucy has with the gold for seeing that, and she gives like this whole speech and stuff and shoots him
Mhm.
with her little tranquilizer gun. He's just like
That was a very small drop and a very large bucket of tomatoes. Yeah, and it's just like, what? Like, this is just frustrating, low level, lawful good character.
yeah.
Just not knowing, you know.
But then we get
Just-
a fucking battle between
Oh, yeah.
Ghoul and Maximus, and Maximus is giving it to him for a little bit.
Oh yeah. And then, real quick, Maximus knocks Lucy to safety, flips up his mask, and says, "You know, you got to get him out of here. Don't worry, I got this."
Yeah.
Yada
Mhm.
yada yada. But yeah, Maximus is giving it to him. Knight Titus, as he's going by now, because you know, stolen armor, stolen valor, stolen name. Why not hit the trifecta?
Yeah, might as well.
Exactly. yeah, everything's going great until it isn't. Until the ghoul just takes a step up, because as we kind of figure out, he knows power armor because apparently he's used it before. Like, what? Yep.
Mhm.
So
He's very aware of what power armor is and the problems with it.
yep.
Why?
Mhm.
We don't know.
Yeah, 'cause
but obviously
especially
he's a
when he-
ghoul. He's been alive for a lot longer than anybody else. So
Especially when Maximus is stuck and he's like, before you like take it for a go, read the manual, and like he knows which part to take
he
out
knows
to
which part
kind of shut it
this
down.
has a blade, cuts one thing, and the power armor just fucking goes crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, all it takes is cutting one. I think it was like one of the tubes here in the back of the helmet.
Yeah.
Cuts one of them, and the power armor goes fucking crazy. Ghoul looks over, sees that Lucy and the target are gone, and doesn't know where they went because he didn't know there was a back door. So he decides that he's going to go after them. Obviously, and then we cut back to, I believe at this point we cut back to Lucy walking along with the doctor
At LAX.
at LAX.
You see the original terminal in the background that
Yep.
is building.
Every time we say the doctor, I just think we're talking about Doctor Who, and she's just walking around David Tennant.
He's walking around with David Tennant, Matt Smith.
I was gonna
both of them
say David Tennant.
Yeah,
Christopher Eccleston for a little bit.
Right.
Duck behind and kind of take a breather, and the doctor's just like, "All right, you need to get me, or you need to." I can't remember exactly what he says. You need to get my head to so and so. So I'm gonna kill myself. And she's like, "No, you can't do it." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I took the cyanide a few minutes ago. I'm going out."
Yep. He took the same thing that family took.
Yeah, he took the Plan D.
The most humane product Vault-Tec has ever made.
Tastes like bananas, apparently.
Yep.
And then
Hey.
gives Lucy the
Ripper,
the little Ripper, and says she doesn't need me, she needs like my head. So if you take that to her, you can trade that for your father.
Just lop my head off with a fucking chainsaw.
Yeah, gives it to Lucy, and Lucy doesn't want him to die. He dies, and then for a moment she's like, I don't know if I can do it. And then you see her open up the thing, and it cuts to, I believe at that point, then it cuts to the ghoul coming across that body, and the head is gone. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And
I think we get a little bit of scene with him with the dog, and he starts using the dog to track them.
Oh yeah, and the dog, he saved the dog.
Yeah, because he's trying to get back to the doctor.
Yeah. He realizes that the dog came in with the doctor and would probably be able to help, so he uses a stim pack, because the dog didn't actually die. It was just stabbed, which is still sad, but don't stab dogs. Yeah, use a stim pack on the dog, and he's like, bring me, to him.
And then...
So the dog is tracking the doctor, and they find the body.
Yeah, but no, the episode ends with Lucy holding this Ripper, and then... Okie dokie.
Yep.
Black, the ink spots tune up, and there we go. It was a great episode that, like, again, really kind of laid more of the foundation for, these characters and how they're going to be interacting with them. Like, it
how they're
sets
going to be
them on
interacting
their
with
path.
the world and each other, and the world that Lucy has now become a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this episode does a good job where the games don't really give you the same sense of how a vault dweller would actually interact with the world. Because in the Fall games, when you come out of the vault, you're just playing, you're making choices, stuff like that. You don't really get the sense of like, oh, I'm really a fish out of water here. You really see it with Lucy as she's trying to navigate this world with what she's been brought up with in the vault.
Yeah, you get when you're playing the games, you can role play as much as you want, but like, we're gamers, so you get in there, you get out in the world, and you're like, cool, I'm going to explore. Oh, that person is attacking me. I need to kill them. Oh, and I need to loot this body because that's what I do in other video games, and this and this and this. And the show does a really good job of actually kind of showing what this privileged life, this person who's never had to deal with anything like this, how what they're going to do to be able to save their father, save the one that they love, and finish kind of their mission here.
Yeah, like this episode really, I think, leans into the RPG of Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like 3 and 4, okay, that's like action RPG. Like you have things you can put points into, but like 1, 2, New Vegas, that's really more of a role playing game where like your stats, your build matters.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with Lucy failing the speech checks, with Maximus just like making that real hard turn. Like, have you ever played any like tabletop RPG, D or anything like that? Yeah, like the role playing can just like take a turn. Like a character can just go from being like, "Oh, all right, yeah, this is great," to "Hello and welcome to my nightmare that you are now a part of."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it did a really good job of leaning into those RPG elements that the first few games were built on.
I also think it's really cool because you can kind of tell, like, oh, I could see how this would operate within the game. And they do that so well to mask it, not like, oh, yeah, this is like they're trying to replicate the game mechanic, but they do it in a way where you're like, I can see, like, oh, that would be VATS, or like, this is me trying to pass a speed check or whatever. Yeah. Like, they do it so well to make it work within the world without being too overt.
Yeah. It's just like I could see when Lucy's just trying to like de-escalate the situation with the ghoul in Philly. I could just see the dialogue. Yep, I could just see the dialogue options, and none of them are good.
No,
it's just like
you have 20% chance to convince this guy.
This speech, 19 out of 50. Ooh, yeah, good luck.
No, I'm fairly certain that at that point her speech skill was her C in her special was at fucking 1, maybe. Like, she took points out of charisma and put them somewhere else before she got into that situation. You know?
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. Yeah, so that was episode 2, The Target. I think we kind of covered, some little Easter eggs that we found. Once again, I love when he uses the stim pack on we're gonna fucking, well, it's dog meat. It's fucking dog meat. Fuck you.
Yeah.
When he uses a stim pack on dog meat and you hear, once again, the sound effect of the stim pack. Pack.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. The Yao Guai looked incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Rappaport dying is always dope.
Loved it.
You know what I mean?
Just a big fan of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're gonna run through the next episode because I think the next episode is a lot of what I think kind of got some build up, but there's more story stuff obviously. But episode 3 is called The Head. I wonder why it's called The Head.
Could it be perhaps that Lucy lopped off a head with a bow saw?
I mean,
no.
If you want to get literal with it.
Okay.
Well,
my low intelligence.
Head above the rest.
Oh! There it is.
Yeah. Episode 3, The Head. And I don't think that we actually went, unless I'm mistaken, we didn't go back to the vault in episode 2, right?
No.
Yeah, we didn't go back there, but episode 3, we actually do get back to the vault. Opens up at a flashback before the bombs fell on the set of a Western film that Cooper, now the ghoul, is the star of. And it's one of those things, where you see him as a cowboy telling somebody that he's going to kill him.
Yeah.
Cut. Turns out it was in a movie. And then he's trying to argue with the director about, hey, my character wouldn't do this. I haven't done this. What happened to this other director? Go get me him. Go get me so-and-so. Yeah, and the guy's like, oh, you didn't hear? Yeah, he got picked up. He's a communist. And you're like, okay.
Sounds awfully convenient.
Yeah, sounds awfully convenient. So, yeah, Cooper is trying to become, he's trying to do this movie and tell this guy, hey, this is what my character would do. And the guy's like, yeah, but that's old school. Your character's going to kill now.
Yeah. this is what your character is now.
Yeah, it's really that sense of, hey, because if people are worried about nuclear stuff, we're trying to give this American, like, hey, we're going to fight against this communism stuff. So it's trying to be more propaganda than it is a show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he meets up with a woman there that he starts kind of flirting with poorly. And then as they're talking, his daughter runs up and she's like, "Mommy, Daddy." And you realize this is his wife.
Yep.
Who works for somewhere. And I believe, does she, at that point, she's like, "Hey, we got to go do a quick, I've got your costume for the next thing.
We gotta do a wardrobe change.
Yeah, got to do a wardrobe change, hands him a box. You don't actually see it. You see him open it up, and eagle-eyed viewers can see the blue and the yellow, and you're like, that looks like it could be a vault suit, but why does he have a vault suit?
And my favorite thing is like, oh, you even got it in my colors.
Yeah.
Because he is wearing a blue shirt with gold trim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wearing a blue shirt, gold trim with like a gold bolo tie.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's wearing the vault suit colors in his cowboy outfit, and his wife is like, "We got a wardrobe change for this," and he says, "Oh, you got it in my colors," and it's the blue, the yellow trim, which we'll come back to that later.
Yes.
So we kind of get a little rundown of what happened in the last episode, which we all just watched, and then we cut to the doctor's corpse with no head, where Lucy left it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ghoul and Dogmeat come up, find the body, and as they find the body, he starts to cough really bad, and then he pulls out the inhaler, puts something into it, which I'm not entirely sure if that is like what that's supposed to be.
Yeah,
like I'm pretty sure it's like a jet or something like that, but I don't know what exactly it is.
Yeah,
because this whole like concept of ghouls doing that, I feel like is newer. I don't recall that in the games at all.
Yeah.
From what I understand, this was like one of the conceits they had to make for the show.
Okay.
So like this, we'll expand upon the inhaler and that stuff in later episodes.
Okay.
But just know that this is, I'm telling you this right now, so you're not going to furiously be Googling this and yelling at your podcast playing device. This was a conceit for the show. This does not exist in the games or is explicitly mentioned and shown in the game.
Okay.
So,
So is this like something that he takes? Because we also, going back to episode 1, when they dig him up, he's got, what looks like IVs and IV bags in his coffin, which is probably the same. I would imagine the same.
The same or very similar substance. To do the same thing. Yeah. So anyway, takes a hit of his inhaler, like we all do before going on an adventure, and away he goes.
Up the stairs.
Waking up in the morning, getting out of bed. But him and the dog continue hot on the trail of Lucy and the good doctor's head.
Lucy in the Head.
Hey!
This fall to CBS.
Mm-hmm.
You should name it Wilson.
Starring Charlie Sheen as the Head.
Hey! Quick cut to Lucy. We learn a little something about the Pip-Boy. It comes with a tracking device, which she pulls off and shoves into the head.
Yep, shoves right into the nose, which honestly, that's probably one of the worst places to fucking put it, because if you're gonna look for a tracking device, you're looking through the holes, you're looking at the nose, you're looking at the ears, you're looking in the mouth.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, you want to fucking take your hand, shove it right into the neck hole as deep as you can get it. I
mean, like, if you're gonna put it in the nose, you got to really just like force it up into one of the sinus cavities,
which
it's just gonna rattle around in there.
Didn't really do that.
I totally agree with that. I just think it's also a cool thing because it's the first like real smart thing she's done in terms of like being out in the wilderness, like in the wasteland. It's like, hey, you're actually doing something that's actually like going to be beneficial to you.
Yeah,
that is very much a DM saying, well, what do you have in your pack? Not telling you what to do, just being like, hey, dipshit, you're carrying around 50 pounds of gear. Maybe there's something in there that can help you.
Yeah, and she and
Yep.
this is a thing that you can already see her becoming a different person because she has this severed head
Mm-hmm.
and she has this tracking device and she's like, that goes up the nose. As opposed to, oh my god, I've got a severed head. What the hell? You know, I was not. She's just like, oh, I mean, I've already got this severed head. I'm already here. I'm gonna go one step further. You know,
this severed head that she has wrapped up like a fucking hobo's bindle. Just needs to put that thing on a stick.
So then we cut to we cut to Maximus. This is I was getting ahead of myself a little earlier. This is when he kind of gets to his like the outpost or kind of outside of Philly, when his power armor is all fucked up because of the ghoul, and you see him kind of you see him get the like a radio broadcast of Knight Titus. We haven't heard from you. You haven't checked in. Knight Titus. Knight Titus. And obviously Knight Titus is not here. But he puts on a shitty voice and he's like, Knight Titus here. You're like, what happened? He's
Knight
like,
Titus here.
Yeah, my squire died. Oh, how? It was died in battle. It was very glorious. He was very good. Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, well, okay, we'll send you another one. That's fine. And he's like,
no need to.
Nope. Everything's good. How are you? Rips out the radio thing and stomps on it because that's gonna stop them.
Just like any 13-year-old who just got caught on the phone is just panic, hang up.
Yeah. He's also trying to do the whole thing like new radio. Who dis?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he tries to pull the Han Solo, and he honestly still does not have the charisma for that build.
That is a charisma forward build.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, and then what I really liked is because he doesn't have like an actual power armor station, which in the first episode when we see the power armor in the power armor station, it's got hooks through the shoulders and stuff, and it's, you know, obviously easy to kind of put it in there. He doesn't have that, and it kind of cuts to him outside of the power armor, and he like wrapped a chain around it and he's like pulling it up on like the chassis of a car.
Yeah, it's like an old tow truck or something. He's just like patching it up.
Yeah, which was just incredible. And leaves it, but just decides that no one's gonna mess with it, so it's just wide open.
Yeah.
And he finds the piece that's broken, and he heads back over into Philly to get it fixed. And I love it. He goes to the mechanic, and he's like, "Can you fix this?" And they look at it, like 5 caps. He pulls out a thing. He's like, "I got 4. Can you do it for 4?" And they're just like, "No." And then he looks over, and there's a sign for a dentist, and it says, "We buy teeth."
Dr. Danhausen, DMD.
Yep, Dr. Danhausen. Right.
I just love these.
Very nice, very evil.
Very, very licensed dentist.
Go ahead, Devin.
I also just like because it's just more of like you would see this in a Fallout game. Like if you're running low on caps, you would go find a way just to make some caps to get whatever you're trying to do.
To sell something that you have, and at this point, the only thing he has is teeth. So then there's he looks at it, and then he walks back up to the counter, and he's like, 5 caps, extra if you do it fast. And the person's just like, oh.
Zap.
And he puts an extra cap on there.
Yep.
And as he goes back to the armor to fix it, it has now been surrounded by raiders or some sort of unsultry bunch.
Steal his wheels and leave his power armor on cinder blocks.
Yeah. What the fuck does he expect is going to happen? And
seriously,
he goes there and tries to, he's like, "Hey, get away from that!" And they're just like, "Go fuck yourself, kid."
Right.
Starts fighting with them, gets his ass kicked and thrown over, and then he fucking Rockies up. They kind of knock him down and throw him over by like a building, and go back over to the suit, and they're ignoring him. He gets up, he finds a crowbar, and a
Toilet
toilet
seat.
seat.
Yeah.
Again, improvised weapons.
Great.
Yeah, go back to episode 1 with the fucking junk jet. They got shit here.
Yup.
Goes back over there, beats a couple guys with the crowbar, and then
Takes
there's
one of them
big guy
down with the
him.
toilet seat.
Yeah, he like just
takes him
throws
with
it into
the
his
amazing.
throat.
toilet seat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just amazing.
And he's just trying to get to the suit so he could try to get back inside, before even fixing it or whatever, and gets in a chokehold by the big guy. The big guy's got him in the power armor suit, and then the little guy who's the leader is being like, yeah, kill him, and you see him kind of reach up as he's getting choked and puts his hand into one of the arm things and is able to control the arm of the power armor, grabs the little dude's head, and just fucking crushes it. Which causes the big guy to just be like, oh, what the fuck, and runs away.
Yeah.
Which that's the bloody mess perk is what that is in Fallout 4. So if you're playing Fallout 4 and you've got a perk that you can build or you can grab, get bloody mess because shit's gonna get gory.
Oh yes.
So yeah, kills this guy. He's able to fix the suit and keep going. Now he doesn't have a radio with him though.
Nope. But don't worry, the Brotherhood is nothing if not surreptitious about their arrivals.
Yep.
Fucking vertibird coming in hot over Philly. It drops something, and what is it?
Before we get there,
Yeah.
something I just wanted to point out because I think it's also kind of a correlation that you can kind of tie between him and Lucy is like him trying to command the people to stop. Is like he has this vision of the Brotherhood like they are the authority of the wasteland, and when
Exactly.
they don't listen to him, he's very much like I can't handle the situation without that.
Yeah.
And so that's how he gets his ass
You
kicked.
stop, and they're like, we don't give a fuck. And he's like, oh shit.
Oh,
That's all they taught me in Brotherhood school.
they were going to
God.
respect me. Shit.
I just wanted to bring up that little thing.
Oh no, that was great.
Yeah.
No, brilliant point.
So then we cut back to he's in the power armor suit finally, and yeah, he looks over, he sees the vertibird flying over Philly, and he's like, oh shit, as he gets back into the suit, and at this point you can tell that he's like, I can't, leave the suit. So he runs over there, and they drop something. It turns out it's his new squire, and it is Squire Thaddeus.
Oh boy.
Who was one of the dickheads who was beating him up in episode 1. He is also one of the best friends in Trevor Moore's High in Church music video, who does a dumb Rastafarian accent because Trevor Moore doesn't want to get too high, and then he gets super high, and his mom breaks in the room, and she's like, "We're going to church." It's a comedy thing. It's really funny. Trevor Moore's dead. Rest in peace, bud. But yeah, drops his new squire, Thaddeus. And Thaddeus is like, I'm here for you, Knight Titus. And he's like, yeah, I'm Knight Titus.
Yep, that's
Come
me.
and you know that he's like, I think it even cuts to him in that kind of Iron Man view of his face, and he's just like, huh, yeah, that's me. I'm in charge.
Yep.
Yeah.
I bring you new orders, sir.
Yeah.
And it is to retrieve the target and kill anything in the way.
Yeah. Which I don't know what the old orders were.
I think it was just to retrieve the target.
Yeah. Now it's like, we got payback to do because a Yaogwai killed your squire, whose name you probably don't fucking know.
Yeah, now it's just like, don't worry about like just grabbing this thing and running off with it. Like if something's in your way, even a mild inconvenience.
Yeah.
Just go ahead. Just both barrels that thing.
Another thing in the interaction there is that kind of still gives me like pause for Maximus is when Thaddeus is like kneeling down and be like, I'm your squire, like I'm here to serve you, and he puts the power armor hand right over him. Like you tell he's like kind of trying to judge whether should I just kill him,
Yeah. He's like,
or
I just did
not.
this, should I do it again?
And then so you can just see that you just see more and more of like he's not maybe not stably like mentally, and he's just kind of like super reactive to whatever the situation calls for.
He's like, this guy, was fucking with me. And one thing, kind of that points back to once again episode 1 when after Dane gets injured and they bring Maximus in because they think Maximus did it, and we're like, hey, did you do this? The High Elder says something like there's no greater sin than attacking one of your own in the Brotherhood. And he says this 5 minutes after we see Maximus getting his shit kicked in by other people in the Brotherhood, and he doesn't fight back. He just takes it, and then they leave. So he's got that in his mind where the worst thing you can do is, attack somebody in the Brotherhood or cause them harm, and this guy is the guy that was leading it for me. But, he decides not to kill him, and then he does the thing that Titus did to him where he pulls out the cod piece, and he's like, clean this.
And boy, is Thaddeus excited.
Oh, God, he is so happy for this.
He came a little bit.
Let's see. And then we cut to Lucy walking around with the head. She's following the tracking that she's got on her Pip-Boy, taking her to Moldaver, and it brings her to Hollywood Boulevard, which is now, a lake, essentially. And she's like,
now Lake Como.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, what am I going to do? And she looks over and she sees a little deer.
Ooh.
And she's like, oh, hi, deer. And this is the first beautiful thing she's seen in the wasteland.
Yeah, it's so wild because it's like, it's not irradiated, which I was like,
exactly,
whoa.
Yeah, it's not a rat stag. It's just like a baby deer. A doe? Is that a doe? Deer?
No. A doe is
female deer.
Fowl? I don't know. It's a Bambi. So she sees Bambi, whose father has been killed by other people. But she sees Bambi, and she goes over there, and she's like, once again, she's like, this is the only beautiful thing I've ever seen in this wasteland. She tries to go pet it.
You want some grass? Huh?
Yeah, some grass. And then it just gets ripped into the bushes.
Oh, high intelligence, low perception, Lucy.
Yeah.
Oh no.
She tries to catch it. Obviously she can't. Geiger counter starts going crazy because she's getting closer and closer to the water, and it's obviously just radiated.
Yeah.
And before she can jump in to actually go try to get the deer, because let's go and save this thing that is now in this radiated water, instead of just cutting your fucking losses.
Find something else to pet later on. Jesus.
Yeah.
The best case scenario, you get it out into the rat stag, so that it's going to try and hurt you anyway.
Cool. And then you can maybe ride it. I don't know. But before she can jump in, gun cocked at her head. And it's the ghoul who is now caught up with her, with the dog. Knocks her out with the gun, with the butt of the gun, and takes her bag and pours it out. And at this point, I forget, did she...
So what happened was...
She lost the head with the deer, is that right?
Yeah, so a Gulper ate the deer and then wanted to eat Lucy. She evaded it, shot it with the little trank gun, but it, grabbed the head and then scurried away.
Yeah.
As much as something the size of a bus can scurry away.
Yeah. Yeah, so before she can get back in to save the deer and try to get the head, ghoul comes in, knocks her out, grabs her bag, is pouring it out, trying to find the head, which you think he could just grab the bag and be like, no head. It's a fucking small backpack. What the fuck do you think, Coop?
Does not.
Nothing.
Coop does. Yeah. He's just like, fuck you. Where is this? It is a means to an end. I don't give a shit. Where is this?
Yeah. And he's like, where is this? And she's like, you already... This thing got it. And as he steps away, or he kind of steps back, and he realizes what he steps in, he's like, oh, the Gulper got it. Which the Gulper is, a very famous Fallout thing, Fallout enemy. Different games. I think it looks slightly different in different games, and Gulper is almost kind of a, not really a catch-all, but it's kind of, it's a few different creatures referred to as a Gulper. But in this case, it's a water creature, big old mouth, and just eat shit, very, very scary. And did we... Yeah, no, I think that's a bit later. Never mind. So we'll get to that when we actually see what's inside the Gulper.
Yes. Oh, God.
Yeah.
And
then we cut to Vault 33. We're back in Lucy's vault. Her brother Norm is there. Chet, her cousin that wanted to marry her, is there. They're getting yelled at for helping Lucy escape the vault in episode 1. Chet is stripped of his job as the gatekeeper because
Mhm.
One
Yep,
fucking
this-
job, bro. You know.
Yep. This was my
and-
note. Chet gets fired and Norm gets grilled by the council.
Yeah.
And
Norm gets
I don't know
grilled
if
by
you
the
guys
council. Go ahead, Deb.
I don't know if you guys brought this up in episode 1, but the guy who plays Norm, he's from originally like Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we
referred
did.
to him as Hannah Montana's
Okay.
brother.
Yeah, because my wife watched the first episode of me and we're sitting there it's like, God, he looks so familiar.
Yeah.
Where is he from?
He's somehow shorter now. I don't know how that
It's
happened.
weird.
Yeah.
Right?
But yeah, he gets brought in and he's getting grilled, getting grilled by the council.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we would demote you, but you've done everything and you've never enjoyed anything. What do we do?
All of your performance reviews include lax enthusiasm.
Yeah. So how do we do this?
It's also funny because the Betty, she's like, you're dealing with computers. How are you feeling about that? Lacks enthusiasm.
Yeah. And
So good.
and I think what does he say? How do you demote someone who equally dislikes every job he's ever worked?
And turns out they found a way.
Yeah, and Blind Al took some time away from finding cocaine in Wade Wilson's apartment and gave him a new job. Because that's the same actress. Yeah, now you know. Give him a new job at the now prison that they have, where they have the survivors from Vault 32 that they captured after the raid, and he's delivering food.
Yes.
So he's just walking by with a fucking food tray.
In the
and handing them.
prison/reading room.
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
detail.
Yeah, where you can, it's just like, oh, we put them over there.
Yeah.
There's
Like,
beds
they
and here's
explicit-
food. Yeah.
Like, two of the council guys explicitly say that was our reading room.
Yeah.
I'm just like, perfect. Because again, they have no concept of like needing to actually like lock somebody away. So
Mhm.
you
They've
don't
never
have a
had
place to do
it.
that.
They don't have any sort of jail. If anything, I mean, like other vaults in the past throughout the game series, if they had to, if they had to kind of lock somebody up, it was just you're confined to your room and you can't leave it. But now they have, all these actual prisoners. What do?
Yeah.
Put them in one of the break rooms that we have and lock them in there.
Just put him in this other room. Voila. I will say, when Norm is sitting there getting grilled, this is kind of where you see like him pushing back, like him not really fitting in with the system.
Yeah.
And like a little bit of that
Mhm.
bloodlust kind of starting to like creep up. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
is this
And you
Norm's
got-
Joker origin?
Mhm.
You got kind of a little bit in like the first episode where they're all at like a function and he's playing a game on his Pip-Boy where you can tell that he doesn't really buy in
Yeah.
to everything, even though this is the only life he knows. He's still like, yeah, this is what are we doing here? And
Yeah.
now he doesn't trust the council.
Because he also talks about how like nobody wants to find his dad because then they couldn't be overseer kind of a thing.
Yeah, and I think is this episode?
It's in
or-
episode. I think it's episode 1 is when he kind of mentions that. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's kind of like there's like the
Oh yeah, they're having like the vault meeting, and Lucy's
Yeah.
like, "We can spare
Yeah.
a few people to go out for a few weeks."
Yeah, and
No, we can't.
they're like no,
Yeah.
and so he's seeing it more for what it is, kind of a thing than when she's seeing,
Mhm.
and because they're trying to be like, oh, we're thinking about the safety of the vault, and he's like, no, they just want the power.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they know that if we save him, they're not in power anymore.
Yeah,
Mhm.
these naive idiots don't know a lot, but they know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we cut to Maximus with Thaddeus, and he has Thaddeus climbing a tree,
Looking for an apple.
like, he's looking for an apple, and he's like, "Yeah, I mean, I'll do it, sir, but I don't know if there's an apple up here." And he's like, "Yeah, keep climbing." And then,
Why-
Because he also says, I don't think this is an apple tree, sir, and I think it's dead.
because Thaddeus is the squire that they want. Like, he's the squire that the Brotherhood wants. I'll do anything for you, sir. I got you. Gung ho about everything.
He is such a great NPC. Just like he's so
If
good.
he was a follower in a Apollo game, he'd be one of the favorites.
Oh
Yeah.
god, yeah.
Yeah.
Like useless in combat, sure. Hilarious every other
Yeah,
time.
great.
Come along, buddy.
Come on, bud. Go get me an apple. All right, sir. Like he's yeah.
I'm a coming.
So and he tells Thaddeus, he's like, all right, we've got because he remembers what happens in Philly, and he knows that there was a girl that he saved, and there's a ghoul there that's going after the girl. So he's like, all right, we're gonna find the ghoul, because we know the ghoul was also after this, this guy, and the girl left with the guy. And Thaddeus is like, no, you're a genius, sir, because if we follow the ghoul, we're gonna be able to pick up all the radiation that the ghoul lays off. And Maximus is like,
Yeah.
that's
definitely what I was planning.
Just that mission failed successfully.
Yeah, exactly. So they and I believe is this when they find they're kind of walking and they find the body, and Thaddeus is like, hey, sir, I found this, and he's trying to like figure out. He's like, where are the rads at? Let's try to figure out where did he go? What can we do?
Oh no!
And Maximus looks over.
The best part is Maximus is like, is that him? And Thaddeus goes down with the drawing. Just like,
is that him? And he just puts it up to the head, and he's like, yeah.
That's him.
Yeah, definitely. This head would not match any other
That's it,
severed
sir.
body.
Yeah, it's right here. See? Whole body with the head. See?
Well,
see, perfect match. Neck to body.
Yeah.
Works.
Well, we found him.
He's like, where do we go? And
do we take him back?
Yeah, do we take him back? No.
Maximus is like,
in the head.
Yeah, like if they left the body, it's not what we're looking for.
Yeah.
So clearly Maximus, you know what? Kind of shitty. Definitely deserves the armor more than Thaddeus, though, or Titus did. Just the ability to recognize that.
100%.
I mean, Titus would have been like, body, take it back, we're good.
Well, it's just so funny because they have such a dynamic to where Thaddeus is thinking more logically than Maximus at times, then Maximus is thinking more logically than Thaddeus at times. It's like this weird, like, how they teeter on, like, no, this is what it really is, and it's like, no, this is what it really is.
Yeah, like it's literally it's from one end you've got Maximus being like, we need to follow the ghoul because he's got the girl, because he wants to find the girl, and Thaddeus is like, oh yeah, because the ghoul's gonna bring off radiation that we could follow, and Maximus is like, yeah, totally. And then you find the body, and then Thaddeus is like, oh, okay, so yeah, we've got the radiation that we can try to find here because the ghoul came in here and got the head, and Maximus looks down and just sees footprints.
Yep.
And just starts walking, and Thaddeus gets up and he's like, oh yeah, we should probably follow the footsteps, and picks up the over encumbrance bag and starts running after.
You are over encumbered, AP. Just
Yep. Cut back to the ghoul with Lucy. Now has Lucy tied up on a dock with like a rope and a chain to a pulley system and like pulling her up, and is gonna lower her in the water to presumably kill her or something. And she's like, no, you can't do this. You can't do this. Once again, in her mind, she's the good person. She's the vault dweller who's like, you can't do this. This is wrong. And he's like, who? According to who? Puts her into, like, drops her down into the water and pulls her back up. And she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, it looks, kind of like torture. And she's like, torture's wrong.
Like, stop torturing me.
Yeah, stop torturing me. And then the ghoul goes through, a thing like, they did a study with torture and they realized that it didn't work because why would somebody that you hurt want to help you? And then she's like, well, why are you torturing me? And
he's like,
says,
I'm not.
I'm not.
You. I'm using you as bait. Puts her back into the water.
Yep.
And he does this a couple times. Puts her in the water and brings her back up. Puts her in the water, brings her back up. And when he puts her back in this last time, you kind of get her vision of the gulper starting to like come up.
Meanwhile, he's fashioning a spear by like tying a knife to a stick.
Yeah.
Just
so
amazing.
He gets her out of the water with the gulper. The gulper gets out. Before he can even really start fighting the gulper, it attacks him and knocks him, just across the way or whatever. Beats them both up.
Grabs Lucy, tries to drag her back in the water. She is fighting everything. She grabs the ghoul's bag, hits the gulper with it a couple times. The gulper grabs it, and then spits it out, spits her out because dog meat bites its leg.
Good
And
boy.
then good,
Mhm.
good puppy. And then Gulper retreats into the water, and oh boy, Ghoul does not like what he sees.
Ghoul looks back at his bag, and all of those meds in the little inhaler that he had are all destroyed, all broken,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and he's pissed.
He
And
is
says,
so-
"Why'd you do this?" And
And
"Why'd you do
And
this?" And he
Lucy
says,
asks
"Golden
for-
rule: do unto others as you would have done to you."
Yeah.
Well, because
just
she
like-
because she also says, "What was I supposed to do? Just let you use me as bait?"
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
like kind of a like throwing it back in his face. Who's like, "Why would you help someone that hurts you?" kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I and this kind of he gets her up and he ties her up, but now there's something more important than getting the head, and that's getting whatever this chem was, and
Yep.
ties her up and starts pulling her behind, and has the greatest line in this whole fucking series that sums up all of Fallout.
Yep, there's a golden rule out here too. Thou shalt get sidetracked by bullshit every goddamn day.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, yeah, we need the head. We can't do anything. Yeah. You must get thou shalt get sidetracked by bullshit every goddamn time. Which, if that's not the goddamn truth in Fallout,
Yeah.
you're gonna
Some of us
ignore the main quest for 45
rolling-
hours.
rolling up to like main quest like number 3 at level 50.
Yeah, whether someone runs up to you and be like, "Help me," and you're like, "What the fuck do you want?" Or you see some explosion off in the distance.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Yeah. So, cut to Thaddeus and Maximus, because they're together. So now we've got 3 stories now. Instead of the Ghoul, Lucy, Maximus, now we have Maximus, Thaddeus, the Ghoul and Lucy, and then Vault 33. So we cut back to Thaddeus and Maximus, and Thaddeus has started trying to ask him questions to get to know Knight Titus. Let's see here. Thaddeus tells Maximus a story about a time he sabotaged a friend to get involved in the Brotherhood, which I don't remember. According to AV Club, that's what happened here. Kotaku, Japan. So Maximus still doesn't.
I just watched the episode and I don't recall that either.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, I do not. It's Maximus. Like Thaddeus is trying to do his squire things, like refill his water and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Maximus freaks out, but
Yeah,
then
because he thinks he's gonna take off like the helmet or something.
yeah, but then he starts asking. Thaddeus asks him questions, and then Maximus flips it around, starts asking Thaddeus questions, and then Thaddeus brings up Maximus,
Mhm.
and Maximus is like, "Tell me about him. Say something nice
Yeah,
about him."
he's like, tell me about him. And he's like, yeah, he was a good guy. He was fine. And then he's like, no, say something negative about him.
Yeah. Sir, order from your knight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like you learn Thaddeus's motivation and everybody else's motivation for beating up Maximus. And it happened to us. There's going to be another new guy after Maximus. Maximus is going to be able to beat up that guy.
Mhm.
The cycle continues,
And
But
he's
Thaddeus
like,
says-
I just feel bad that he's not going to have, that he never got to do what we did.
Yeah.
Which is, in a fucked up way, kind of nice, but at the same time, it's like, why didn't you just stop the cycle?
It's
Yeah.
endearing. It's endearing in the lens of this world.
Yeah.
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 Outside this world, you're like, why did you do it at all?
The fuck is this? The Republican National Convention? No. You don't do that shit. No.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Like,
aw,
But
Yeah,
you're not a
that's-
complete douchebag. You want
So-
him to be able to beat up other people too.
Yeah, so this whole scene is mostly just kind of like them, Thaddeus trying to get to know Knight Titus, and Maximus trying to, I think he's still trying to gauge out Thaddeus and what kind of person he is.
Mm.
And if he can
It's- yeah.
trust him, because he wants to trust him, but he's still not sure. And then we cut back to the third story there, Vault 33, and they're having this town hall meeting of what to do with the survivors. And people have, a couple of other ideas where what the hell? Yeah, where they're trying to, once again, these are vault dwellers that think that they're going to save the world. So they're like,
So
well, why don't we
naturally.
just rehabilitate them and teach them things and bring them
Mhm.
into our world, blah, blah, blah.
I could teach them like
Yeah,
intro
and
to
then, yeah,
calculus.
like, oh,
I could teach them about Shakespeare.
I can teach them
Yeah.
Shakespeare, and it's like,
One of them actually had like a good like point because it's like I don't want to be like derogatory towards them, but I think that might be too advanced.
yeah. And then the next person's like, you're right. I can teach them calculus. It's like, what
Yeah.
is wrong
Well,
with
like-
you people?
We gotta start
Well,
with 2 plus 2 people.
Well, like, no, the calculus dude's something separate. Like, the person who's just like, that might be too advanced. I can teach them Kant. And it's like,
Yeah.
what?
right?
No.
It's like it goes from a good point to like, no, you're still not seeing it.
Yeah.
It's just like,
It's-
oh, God. Yeah.
It's once again them trying to. They have that lens of we're gonna save the world. We can rehabilitate anybody. Let's save it. And then one of the dwellers says that one of the raiders showed him their butthole through the glass. So maybe not
That's-
everybody is on the right.
No,
You know.
that says to me a willingness to communicate.
Yeah.
That's what he took away from that. It's just
So-
like, oh, people are fucking morons.
And then throughout this, we also see kind of the power kind of not stable right now because they don't really have like a official overseer. We have 2 of the council members kind of like talking over each other of like trying to give
Yep.
direction, but they both have their own ideas.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
not real clear like this is what we're trying to do.
And then
Yeah,
I think,
there's a-
Norm brings up,
Or-
we can't let them leave because they'll come back with more people. We should kill them. And
Yeah.
the vault dwellers are like, everybody else is like, oh, the vault dwellers like, no, that was just Norm bringing up an idea. And I think that's when Norm is like, sorry, sorry, overseer. And then both people
Yeah.
at the podium are like, you're fine.
Well, Betty's sitting next to the podium.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe this would be a good idea to get some actual input.
Yeah.
And then she also rebukes Norm hard on the whole, we should kill them thing.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's really setting up this. Oh, Vault 33, like the rest of this story is going to be Norm Betty heavy. Like
Mhm.
when we're here, these are the 2 people we need to watch. And
Mhm.
I'm just like, yes.
And then,
and Montana's brother.
yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then
we get to
this-
see him butting against the system even more throughout
yeah.
this whole thing.
And then at
The
this
system
point,
like trying to buck back.
yeah.
And it's just, oh.
You have an engineer walk in with a thing and is like, overseer, I need to talk to you. And they're like, well, yeah, okay, you can tell us. And he's like, I mean, the old overseer wouldn't want me to tell this to everybody. They're like, well, we're
He's
new
not here.
regime now. Oh, okay. The water chip is broken.
We have 2 months worth of water.
No
Not
biggie.
including not including
Not including the
prisoners. so like less
And it's
than
funny
8
because I think
weeks.
he's talking. They're just like, okay, that's enough. That's enough.
That's enough,
You
that's
got
enough.
enough.
Yeah, we'll go talk. Which the water chip is the beginning of
Fallout 1.
Fallout.
Yeah,
It's Fallout
Fallout 1.
1, where the vault dweller gets sent out because the water chip is broken, and he gets
Mhm.
sent out to find a new water chip.
Yep.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering if this is going to be something down the line, or if this is just a hey, here's a reference to Fallout 1.
Well, because like I watched this kind of like lore thing about Fallout, and this is just game wise, is that Vault-Tec and basically I don't know if it was necessarily all the votes, but majority of them gave them the water chips or not even enough supply, so that way they
Yeah.
would have to leave at some point.
Yeah, and like there's a most of the vaults are some sort of experiment, but this, we don't know at this point at Vault 33 is an
Yeah.
experiment.
Yeah,
So yeah, you kind of you're like, was this planned to happen? Was this
Mhm.
or is this just a reference to Fallout 1, and we're never gonna speak of it again?
yeah.
I feel like with how this show has been, the water chip is going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put my money on it.
Okay.
Norm, pizza bet. Norm is going to be the next one to leave.
Other arm.
Other arm. Nope.
Jesus
cross-
fucking
crossover.
Christ.
I'm
There we
sorry. Jesus.
There you go.
I'm sorry. the screen I'm looking at.
I got mine flipped, so you can see Fallout right there.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah,
but yeah,
so
no, I think
as they're kind of leaving this thing, Norm gets stopped by another vault dweller, Stephanie, the one with one eye
Blinky.
now. And she's like, if your father were here, he'd do the right thing. Clearly meaning, if your father was here, he would kill them.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That one good eye.
Yeah. Cut. And now we're kind of done in the vault for the episode, I believe. But we cut back to the Gulper, kind of the pond. Maximus and Thaddeus get there. Lucy and the ghoul are gone. Because they're following the trail of rads, which obviously means the ghoul, but in this case means the Gulper.
Oh, yeah. And so
they decide to get into the water because they're fucking idiots, because they're trying to find the ghoul, because they're following the radiation. Water's up to their chest, and they get attacked by the Gulper.
Yes, it starts coming. Maximus tells Thaddeus to get out of the water. Thaddeus is like, what? And Maximus says something about duty, honor, shit. I don't know. I didn't write it down. I didn't feel it was important. And he, effectively just unloads the clip nowhere near the Gulper. Yeah. And it jumps out of the water. And then what does Thaddeus do? Takes a couple shots from the shore.
Yep. With the big gun that he's got propped up on a thing because he can't hold it because he's not in the fucking power armor. It doesn't do shit because I'm pretty sure he also doesn't hit it.
I think it's a glancing blow. Yeah. So that,
and then it leaps at him, and this is when you see the inside of the Gulper in slow motion. Mouth is wide open, and it goes into it, and there's just fingers.
Yeah, just a mouthful of human fingers.
Who?
And Thaddeus screaming like a girl.
Yeah. Who fucking... Who... It wasn't enough where it's just a fucking giant salamander with sharp teeth. No.
Yeah. No. You replace those sharp teeth with fingies.
Fingies. You got fingies.
Dex, fingies be fingin'.
Dex, show off your fingies.
There it is. Fingies.
All the fingies.
Fingies be fingin' in there.
Yeah. Thaddeus somehow gets on the ground, and then it's another clip that we saw in the original trailer where he's on the ground and then he just gets pulled and you hear him scream.
Which is so great.
Yeah. It just comes out of frame. And Maximus pulls him out. And I believe at I can't remember if it's here or if it's right before it. Somebody there's just a mention of he gets eaten and they're like, oh, the Gulper takes a long time to digest anything.
Oh, that
so
was
then you see Thaddeus he's in there and then he's slowly getting pulled in because it's slowly swallowing him. And Maximus is trying to pull him out, and he's kind of going back and forth and back and forth.
And finally,
God, it's so gross.
Yeah. He grabs him, and the Gulper just throws up Thaddeus and the head.
Yeah, and throws up everything all over Maximus and Thaddeus. And then there's the head.
Yep. And, man, after they realize how gross this is, they see the head, and it's time to celebrate.
Yeah. And they grab... They see the head because dog meat is licking it.
Oh, yes. Yep. The dog is still there.
Yeah.
The dog is there for the head, not for anything else. So, yeah. And then, there it is. Triumph. Cut to the ghoul.
And the ghoul.
Just being walked through the wasteland with one boot on because the Gulper ate her other boot.
Yeah. Which I believe, that also came out of the Gulper, and Maximus picked it up, saw it, and realized, this was her shoe, because it's obviously a boot from the vault that he can tell.
Oh, yeah. Also a quality fishing joke.
Yeah, cut to the ghoul and Lucy. They're walking. The ghoul's pulling her behind him like a mule. Not letting her have any water. He pulls out a thing. He starts drinking water, and she's like, I need some or I'm going to die or whatever. And he drinks more and then pours more out. And he's like, I'm out.
For the homies.
keeps marching, and they come across like a little pond. Her Geiger counter's going crazy, but you can kind of see in her eyes that she's
she's desperate.
She's desperate. She's almost thinking about drinking this.
They keep
and
going
he's like,
bit.
you don't want to. Basically, like the ghoul is then like, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And she's like, what happened to you? Radiation? And he's like, something like that.
Yep.
Which there's different theories in the Fallout universe as to what, why certain people become ghouls and certain people just die. And I think maybe the show might go into that a little bit more. But,
yeah, and I think a cool thing with this is also where we'd start to see how Lucy and the ghoul play a certain role for each other's characters, where the ghoul is like someone from a time of civilization before the war and is now so entrenched in the wasteland, and he's basically talking to someone who's kind of from a makeshift aspect of that time of pre-war, and he's trying to force her into this new mold of the wasteland where she's trying to force him back into the old ways of what he was used to.
Yeah,
and so like
this, pull him into the past, he's trying to pull her into the present.
Yeah, it's like this push and pull kind of thing between them, kind of a thing, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. And then they come across the Vault Tech billboard with good old Vault Boy giving us thumbs up.
Yep.
And Lucy loves it because it's Vault Boy, and the ghoul hates it and shoots the head out
its face
and
off.
starts walking.
Which is an interesting thing of why he would do that.
Yeah, and you're like, what the... Like, Lucy's like,
well,
okay.
What the... Well...
Go back to the flashback. We're going to find out right now. Which, once again, going back to episode 1 of our thing where we talked about the flashbacks and how they help the story as opposed to just being there. This is a perfect example where you see one thing, and then we're going to the back just to show what it is. And it's Cooper back on set, and he's wearing the vault suit, and he's as the vault dweller essentially. Goes into a soundstage, and he's talking to people from Vault Tech. I don't think he is this where he meets Bud? I don't think so.
No.
Don't believe so.
There's other Vault Tech people there, and this is like a photo shoot, an advertisement for Vault Tech for the vaults. So they're taking pictures of him and everything, and he is I think they say one thing. He's like, does it block radiation? And they say yes, but
and then like look at each other like
it's like in a way of like, that was weird. That doesn't give me confidence in what you're trying to tell me.
Like, yeah, dude, totally.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's what we said, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
I like that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. He opens up the photo shoot by saying, I just want to say thank you all very much. You're out here doing the Lord's work. And it's just like, oh yeah, you thanking the military industrial complex for doing the Lord's work. Oh, yeah. But then,
doing just a photo shoot of him doing different poses, and he brings it up. What if I did a thumbs up?
Yeah,
because that was, I guess, something that his characters would do, and they're like, yeah. And I think one of the guys is like, yeah, Coop, do that. And the other person's like, did you call him Coop? And he's like,
you called him Coop.
Yeah,
yeah.
And you get him in the suit, in the vault suit, with the thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vault Boy was born.
And that's it.
And without and maybe they'll come back later on and be like, no, but like you see this and you kind of get the context clues. He shot out the Vault Boy because he is the Vault Boy, and he was used by Vault Tech, and now he knows kind of what they did.
Yep. And that is the episode.
And that is end of episode 3, The Head. So at the end of this, Maximus Thaddeus have the head. They don't know why they need it.
They've got it.
Yeah, they've got it. The ghoul and Lucy are together, and Lucy is essentially his prisoner.
Yep.
And Vault 33 is trying to figure out what to do with the prisoners.
Like
from
this
Vault
is where
32.
Yep. Much like in the games, this is just these different storylines just weaving across each other at random, seemingly random times.
Yeah.
Yep. So
So
Ugh.
by the end of this episode, because obviously we've all watched the whole season by now.
Mhm.
Kind of what can you remember what you were thinking? Kind of where you thought the story was going to go, really?
Yeah,
I
I
guess.
would.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'm just like, okay, like, what, like, this? There's no way this plays out as straightforward as it seems right now.
Yeah,
Like, there's no way the head goes back to the Brotherhood. Like, there's no way Lucy gets sold into, like, I'm just assuming he's gonna like sell her as a slave
yeah.
because slavers are a thing
Playing the
Mhm.
games,
all
yeah,
across
you
the
know that
wasteland.
slavers are a thing and people get sold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. I'm just like, there's no way that's not gonna happen. And like Vault 33, like something is up with this.
Yeah.
Like there is no like this isn't a control vault because the first like couple of like the first bit of the first episode, I'm like, yeah, like clearly this is a control vault. Everything's nice and peaceful, whatever. And then the things go tits up really quickly. So I'm like, okay. So now I'm just locked into like, what is the mystery of Vault 3?
Yeah. And
How
I
are the
think
Brotherhood gonna
with Vault
fuck this up?
33, like you can kind of sense something from Betty,
Yeah,
but you almost get the sense that the other two that are in charge are almost like we need to keep just living. We just move on, forget everything, just move on,
yeah.
Mhm.
And Betty's there on the side like, yep, we're just going to move on. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
just do, this because this is what we're going to do. And you're like, okay, Betty clearly has been here longer because she's old as fuck.
Yeah.
So, maybe she's,
Yeah, it definitely know Betty's up to.
yeah.
Mhm.
And Maximus and Thaddeus, you kind of just see them and you're like, oh yeah, they're getting along.
Yeah.
Friends. Devin, what
Bumbling
about
stick
you?
up kids.
What about you?
For me, when I watched this episode originally and finished it, I was kind of more curious on the aspect of like the kind of what I brought up about Lucy and the Ghoul, like who's going to change who, how are they going to influence
Yeah.
each other, like how is that going to play out later on in the show, because they are playing that kind of role for each other.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, like how much will they change each other? Who will have more of an influence on who? So I was more curious about that aspect. And then with Thaddeus and Maximus, like I don't know if I was like super like wondering where they were going to end up, because it seemed like, oh, we got the head, sweet. So I wasn't
Yeah.
like
Like
I wasn't
you
too much
saw
thinking
them,
about.
you saw them fucking, celebrating like children. Like, oh my
Yeah.
god, we did it
Yeah.
for, Papa's gonna be so happy.
Yeah. So at this
Yeah.
time, I wasn't so thinking about like where were they going to end up, kind of a thing.
Mhm.
But Vault 33, I definitely was feeling very suspicious of Vault 33, because it started to feel like something wasn't okay. There's something like underlying that we're not seeing yet that is going on, just because like 99% of the vaults, something's always going on. So
Mhm.
I'm just like, there's something. It's not
Yeah.
cut and dry. It's not that you have the best intentions. There's some kind of an agenda kind of going
there's
on here.
something going on in Vault 33, but you don't really know just yet. But
Yeah.
once again, I think Vault 33 is perfect in this situation as somebody who's played the games. You've got the idea of, wait, what's the experiment in this vault? Because we know a lot
Yeah.
of vaults had an experiment, where I'm thinking that somebody who's never played the games is just like, huh. Like there's something going on, but what is going on?
Mhm.
And I think if you aren't a player of the games, you might just look at that and think of like kind of maybe other movies or other TV shows where there's there's a conspiracy. Like, oh, did the first thought is, oh, did they bring in these people to take the overseer so they could take over? Like that's maybe what's happening, and that's why they don't want to get him back, because they're like, now we've got control. Did they let the people from Vault 32 in, the raiders into Vault 32? Like, how did they do that? You're trying to,
Mhm.
that's kind of what the show is kind of building you towards. So yeah, at the end of this, as somebody who's played the games, I was like, there was some sort of experiment here. Like, what is going on? But it's not just, this isn't a control vault. These aren't, some people you can tell are just being like, yeah, we just need to, let's get over it and let's just kind of continue doing
Yeah.
Like he's got like the overseer's gone, Lucy's gone. That's too bad. We need to keep. We're gonna keep living because we're safe here, and they
Yeah.
just want to be safe.
And I think another interesting layer that adds to it all because it's not. I don't feel like. And correct me if I'm wrong. I don't feel like it's common for vaults to be interconnected like these ones are, having three vaults
No.
interconnecting and
Yeah.
like communicating and all this other stuff. So
Yeah.
I also think that adds a whole nother layer to kind of what's really going on here.
Yeah. Now you got to, because you know that you've got these three vaults, 31, 32, 33 connected, and you're like, does that have anything to do with this? How did they get into 32? Blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
we don't have any of those answers yet.
Yeah.
And I think the show does a really good job as a television show of sowing enough seeds to make you think, oh, maybe they let people in at 32 and then brought them over here, knowing that they were going to bring them over here too, because that council, those three were the three that approved Lucy to get married to somebody in 32.
Mhm.
So the original idea of opening up the vault for the 32 people to come over was their idea and their approval. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, and it's a thing that's just always happened.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. So it's and then one thing that always stuck with me when the Vault 32 contingent comes over and they first meet the 33.
Yeah.
The overseer from Vault 33 says, "We're sorry to hear about crops." Implying it's like, oh, something has happened to the crops, like a blight or
Mhm.
disease or something. So in my head, like when I first heard that, I'm like, 33 is the control, 32 is the experiment.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, like they just literally have them next to each other and then just see what happens when you take somebody who like had everything like taken away.
Uh,
I'm listening. I'm just gonna mute. Just need to go get my dog real quick. Keep
no
talking.
worries.
I can hear you.
Okay, we will. Yeah. So just kind of like that weird, like another awful social experiment, just like
Yeah, no,
ruining people's
definitely.
lives.
And like in episode 1, like as soon as like they started showing close-ups of 32, like I'm like they're too rough.
Yeah.
They got scars and stuff. Like there's I was like 100% already like no, there's something not right about this. Someone's gonna go down. Like
Oh yeah. Like I saw somebody with like on my second watch, I saw somebody with like crazy tattoos. I'm just like, how did I miss that?
yeah, I was like looking. I was like that guy has like a scar on his head. They're so dirty. Like nobody in vaults who are just in the vault are dirty. Like they're clean. They're well kept. Like that something's not right.
Yeah, like they were brought up with manners, so like they
Yeah,
know
I
how to
was like-
eat everything.
And I was sitting there just thinking, like, did they go outside? Like, have they been going outside? Like, what's going on?
Like, how rough was it? Like, how bad was that? Like crop blight? Like,
Right.
Lord.
Yeah, it's just like I think it does a good job of that too. Of like, if you've played the games before, like you kind of just sort of like, if you know people are from a vault, you know they're not going to look dirty. They're not going to look like they're of your typical wastelander.
Yeah.
And so by seeing that, you're just kind of like, something's happening. Something's gotta happen.
Something's up. Something's up. Oh god! And then the doctor running across Lucy in the campfire and just like dropping all of that knowledge, like, oh, or no, they run into Ma June and just telling her like, oh, you're from Vault 33. It's supposed to look like Nebraska. Your primary crop is corn, and just hitting her with all this knowledge. It's like, oh shit, yeah, the Enclave knows everything.
Yeah, the Enclave knows what fucking Vault 30 or what Vault-Tec was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those. It's just like
because I think canonically, I don't know, like if I don't know if this would even count as future spoiler, but like canonically in the games, I think it was like a subsect of Vault-Tec became like
the
Enclave
was working with the government to make the vaults, and then the Enclave was like almost like a shadow government in the United States government.
Yeah, they were originally their plan was to blast off into space to ride out the apocalypse. Yeah. That didn't happen.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
And it's so also
Vault-Tec
canon
has, Vault-Tec probably has all the information on what the vaults were doing and what kind of which ones were experiments, which ones were control vaults, and the doctor probably just
found
knew
the
all
files.
about him,
Yeah. So
but I mean, so we're at a good point here in the season. I'm definitely I was I was loving what we were seeing already, especially with the Gulper. The fucking design, getting a hand job and a blow job at the same time is incredible.
Just wow. Just wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be back next week with episodes 4 and 5 with our good friend Scruffy. He's another streamer on Twitch, does a lot of 76, somebody that I've played a lot of Fallout 76 with. He'll be joining us next week. But before we get out of here, Dex, Devin, Virum, one more time, tell the people where we can find you.
You can find me on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you can find social media. Just look up at VerumDex and you'll find me.
Yep. So at VerumDex, that is a reference to Kingdom Hearts, the greatest video game series in history. Mike, where can people find you? And what are you doing this week? Are you streaming? Are you back to streaming or?
No, because I gotta move my office, and it's just I'm not super pumped about that. So I'm taking some more time off streaming to get some stuff in physical order. But go ahead and drop a follow, Nerding for Beginners on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch, twitch.tv/Nerding for Beginners. Stream some things. Hopefully a wider variety when we get back to streaming instead of Rocket League one night and then God only knows what the next night.
Something.
Yeah,
So,
but so just over there doing our thing.
And I know,
check us out.
Devin, your streaming schedule, it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, right?
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays.
Saturdays? Okay. Yep. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays over on Twitch, and then follow him on YouTube. My dog is here now. He's his name is Oliver. He says hello. He doesn't. He hates people.
I'm gonna climb over that wall of hate, Ollie.
Yep. One day. I'm over on Twitch, Mr_Hawks182. I'll stream whenever, and you can find us on Twitter at Story Motors Pod. And you can find us on YouTube at Story Motors Podcast, and we are on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts, everything wherever you get your podcast. Drop us a subscribe. It's free, easy way to help us. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up on the YouTube videos. Subscribe over there. We're trying to get to that 10th subscriber, so
hey,
we're almost there.
Close. We're getting close.
We're at 9. I just kind of want more subs than we have episodes. That'd be nice.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. That means only one of you watching this needs to click that subscribe button.
At this point,
seriously,
3. Yeah,
that's very true.
So this is episode 11. And I'm not good at math, but Devin, we've kept you here for too long. Thank you so much for joining us, my friend.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. This is my first.
We're gonna get you on here another one of these times, talking about something that's not Fallout. But anytime,
I go with whatever. Thank you guys again. This is my first time being on a podcast, so thank you for having me on here.
And you've done way better than we have. We're a shit show. I was eating pizza half the time because I fucking love pizza.
I was trying to read my own handwriting.
Yeah, I've heard that you can reheat pizza in an air fryer, and I'm gonna try that.
Oh, do it.
Yeah. I mean,
air fryers are magical.
Yeah,
it's a countertop convection oven, so it does amazing things.
Yeah.
But we'll see everybody. I'm gonna put the outro music on, and then we will outro, and I'll tell you guys when we're off. But thank you so much for listening to us. We will see you next time. Here's some music. Everybody say bye. Everybody say goodbye.
Bye.
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 Bye.